This week on the No More Late Fees podcast, Jackie and I are joined by fellow TikToker, 90s enthusiast, and actress Imia Edwards, aka Imia Fleur, if you follow her on TikTok. Before our episode drops later this week, we wanted to give our audience a chance to get to know Imia with some fun games. Imia, we've been trying to get you on the show for a while. We are super excited because one, you're one of the first mutuals we had on TikTok, and two, your 90s nostalgia content is chef's kiss. So much fun.
Thank you so much
fun. And like, as soon as I started seeing them, I was like, oh yeah, this woman has to be our friend.
Yes, definitely. Yes. And I saw your content as well. I was like, oh my goodness, yes, sign me up. This is all just right up my alley. I love it. Yes, I love you guys.
So tell us how you got started with, deciding to make videos on TikTok about, your love for 90s. I mean, I know you're an actress, so tell us a little bit more.
Yeah. Basically, just being in the panini in the pandemic, I was so bored, and I actually had just moved in with my family briefly. I got out of a crazy relationship. It was all over the place. I moved with my family right as the pandemic was happening, actually. So I was like, oh, I'm just so bored, and, couldn't leave the house. And my mom was really high risk and everything. So I was just like stuck, like a lot of us, needed to be, to be safe as well. And so I'm like, oh, what am I going to do? And so just found out about this TikTok thing that everyone had jumped on, right? Like all of us in the beginning of 2020, I feel just like, what are we going to do? And so that's kind of how it happened. And I just felt it was so fitting because, especially being in a time, it was so tough, things going on with Trump as well, and the pandemic. I'm just like, I just need an escape, and nostalgia was definitely the thing that just brought me back and just made me feel a little bit more at peace, and all the chaos that was going on. So I said, hey, let's combine the two, TikTok, nostalgia, boom. And then that's how it was born.
That's awesome. We missed the 2020 boat. If you would have asked us in 2020 if we would have been on TikTok, we would have said hell no. And now it's like we live there. It's crazy. So we totally understand. Well, I mean, obviously you're a 90 enthusiast, but it seems like you also very much love Disney. And when we were trying to figure out what movie to, do, it was like a no-brainer to do this one. So
and if you guys, if my shirt, hello Goofy Movie shirt, my background, yes, my favorite Disney movie, hands down, yes.
And also, it seems like you have a direct connect with one of the stars.
I know. It's so funny. I loved all my friends and my mutuals on TikTok in the beginning because everyone knew I loved a Goofy Movie, right? And then all of a sudden, several months later, I pop up with this video with Jason Marsden, who was the voice of Max, and people were like, "Wait, you know Max Goof? That's so crazy. That's so funny." But yes, I've been friends with Jason for about 15-ish years.
Oh my gosh,
that's awesome.
Yes, and he's the sweetest thing, and he's just so funny, and it's fun because he loves to embrace the work he's done. If you ask him about any projects, he's like, "Yeah, I'll talk about it, no problem," And I love that because some actors might feel like, oh, I don't really want to talk about this project or my career or whatever, and so
he's brand new. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Well, we're definitely on our wish list. We would love to talk to him one day, so we're gonna eventually try manifesting that eventually.
Definitely, I'll tell you. I'll put in a good word. I'll tell you guys gotta get on their podcast. Yes, definitely.
But he's not the only connection you've made. Did I not? If my eyes did not deceive me, did you not have a photo or something with the Olsen twins?
Oh my goodness, that's so funny. I felt like I looked so bad in that picture. I actually removed that TikTok because I was like, oh, I look so bad.
You were so young. What are you talking about?
I know. It was like 90s me. And you know how you take pictures, and we didn't know what we looked like back then because you didn't have the selfie mode to know what you look in the technology. So I'm just like, oh my God, all my pictures were just a mess. But yes, I knew the Olsen twins. I had acting classes with them when I was little. Yeah,
wow.
which is so random. And then they gave me my little dog. I had a little dog named Destiny, and I got her on the same Warner Brothers lot where they filmed, Full House and everything. And they were doing Two of a Kind. It was a show the Olsen twins were in the 90s, like right out. I don't know if you remember. And yeah, I was on a couple episodes of that, like small bit, like background, because I was in their acting class, and they said, "Hey, who wants to be on the show? Whoever wants to." I'm like, okay, yeah, that was it. As far as that picture, that was after an acting class performance. I played a blind slave, just like yeah. It was in the 90s, and they said, well, what role can we put? It was one of our acting teachers, and it's a long story, but I played a blind slave, and with this other girl who was in the scene, but the Olsen twins, they weren't in that scene with me, but I just took a picture with them after the performance, but but that's a funny story.
Acting coach, if you're out there, no, don't do that again. Don't do that.
I don't think they would nowadays, but back in the
I mean, I just find it so funny. Like, it wasn't that long ago, and like, how do you not know that? Like, this is not okay.
But, I know.
Oh boy.
But things are getting better, though. I think people are becoming more awoken to things like that. So yeah.
So it seems like you caught the acting bug pretty early on. So did you have to beg your mom to take acting classes? Like, how did that go?
Not at all, because my mom and I wasn't as close with my dad, but they were both actors. That's how they met. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. So my mom definitely encouraged. She wasn't stage mom at all, but she said, if you want to, that's cool. You can do that. And I dabbled. I was an actor as well. And so that's kind of how it kind of spiraled. And she's always been really supportive, and I love my mom. So shout out to Mom if you hear this. So yeah. And I just went from there. I just did I was homeschooled briefly, so that was easier for me to audition for roles. And when I auditioned for the famous Jet Jackson. And yes, I love that show. And Lizzie McGuire, which is crazy because it wasn't called Lizzie McGuire. It was, the working title was called None of the Above.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's a little, and then they changed it to Lizzie McGuire, but I remember my character was Miranda. I remember reading for Miranda and everything. So
that sucks.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't
really
get the part.
Cool.
But I did a few commercials and a little children's film, and I was the lead in that movie. And so I did some cool projects growing up, definitely. But and then I just kind of, I'm more behind the scenes nowadays. I still pop up acting here and there, though. So
awesome. Look, you're living our dream. That's all we want. We've always wanted to just live in the movies. So
same. Nice little escape.
Are you ready for a game?
I'm ready. I'm definitely ready.
So Jackie's gonna do a this or that with you. Disney animation.
Okay. Nice.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Our first is Chicken Little or Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, Lilo and Stitch. Yeah. No
favorite.
Lilo and Stitch or Chicken Little?
Lilo and Stitch.
Okay. Yeah.
The second one is Brother Bear or Pocahontas.
Oh, Pocahontas. I just have to go. I'm a little millennial in me wants to Pocahontas. I know it's problematic. I know, but I love Pocahontas.
But the songs in that movie, bangers.
Yes.
So good.
100%. So good. Colors of the Wind.
And she was our first, Disney Princess of Color. So it's kind of like,
I know.
It's so hard. It's so hard.
You have to.
Yeah.
I know.
Our next one, Home on the Range or A Bug's Life.
Oh, Home on the Range? Woo! I haven't heard that one in a while. Oh my God. I haven't even seen Home on the Range, which many of us have not.
No.
But let's be real. I'm just gonna say A Bug's Life. And Bug's Life was good. So Bug's Life, yeah. Mm-hmm. Home on the Range.
Our next one, this would be tough for me. Hercules or The Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, you're killing me.
See how we just
that-
that was a sneak attack. We just made it seem real easy.
I know. That last one was a no-brainer. Oh man. Oh gosh. I'm gonna have to. Ooh. I'm gonna go with Hercules. The muses are in there, and I really, really love them. And then the music is. I'm gonna go with Hercules. Yeah,
Good answer.
That's
good answer.
fair.
that's fair. Yeah, yeah.
Our next one is Atlantis, the Lost Empire, or Treasure Planet.
Oh, it's so funny because I always mix those up because they seem like
They seem
similar.
the same.
In the same,
They're
didn't
both
do as well.
like steampunk,
Mhm.
futuristic Disney.
Yeah. It's so true. Oh man, but wait, Cree Summer played that. That was Atlantis, right? She played.
So yeah.
I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with Atlantis.
Fair.
She was so beautiful, and that yeah. So I'm just gonna go with that one. Yeah.
Next is Mulan or the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Mulan.
Mulan, moving on.
I love Mulan so much. I love Mulan. That was like the last Disney movie too. I felt I was a kid going to see, and the rush and the Mulan. I just love Mulan so much. So Hunchback was good too, but I love Mulan.
Next one, a Goofy Movie or Tarzan.
Who are you talking to, y'all? Who y'all talking to? You know, it will forever be Goofy Movie above all. 100%. I know the Tarzan soundtrack is fire though. Like we know this, and it's and the TikTok community really enlightened me with that because I'm like, oh yeah, it really was amazing. The music, Phil Collins did his thing, but Goofy Movie, hands down.
We'll get into it in the episode, but Goofy, I feel like a Goofy Movie soundtrack goes almost as hard as Tarzan.
Yeah, definitely. That's how I feel too. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And our last one, it's the movie versions of some of our Disney afternoon favorites. Doug's first movie or Recess School's Out.
Ooh, those. Oh, that's a tough one. Oh gosh, I didn't see all of the Recess Schools Out, but I saw part of it. I'm gonna say, but the Doug one was that's okay. I'm just gonna go with Doug's first movie because I remember a little bit. Yeah. What do you guys feel?
I feel like there's so much discourse about Doug when it made the switch to Disney. Like I don't even think I watched many of those episodes because it just did not have the same vibes.
It was so strange. I don't even know why that even happened, but I have to go research the story of why it even switched to Disney and everything, but I don't know. It felt really weird. I love Doug too.
I still hum the theme song. Like I'll just be like putting laundry away. I'm like, do do do.
Okay, that's the correct theme song. Not the Disney one. Yeah.
I mean, and I want to talk about this in our episode too, but is it me or was Skeeter kind of coded to be a Black character but wasn't?
100%. I always thought that as a kid. I told my friend, I'm like, y'all know Skeeter's Black, right? Like I remember as a little kid just thinking he was Black. That's so funny. I don't know why, and I think, but I wasn't alone. A lot of other people thought so as well. So.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of TikToks where they talk about that, and I mean, you can really go and dive deep into how that happens, where you use characteristics, culture of everything that really encompasses these characters being Black, but from we want to make money standpoint, I guess, or whatever racist thought process that goes with it, that they don't. And I feel like when we get into a Goofy Movie, it's definitely something we should talk about because all right,
definitely.
So you did great. You had some hard ones there.
They were tricky. Those are some toughies in there.
Well, I'll let you ask the question, Jackie, since you came up with it.
Okay. So in the movie, Goofy lets Max choose the roadside attractions to visit on their trip. So what would be on your list if you were planning a road trip?
Oh, I feel Disneyland. Does that count?
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
They went to an amusement park.
That's true.
Yeah.
I actually remember that so vividly in the trailer as a kid. I was like, oh, whoa, they go to a theme park. That's cool. They're on a roller coaster. But yeah, I definitely feel Disneyland. I don't know. I like those little oddity pop-ups too, or not pop-ups, but what I guess like the ball of yarn, or I don't know, a warehouse of cheese. I don't know, anything that we could find. I don't know. Anything we could find that would be kind of quirky to go into. I would love to see one of those as well.
My mom always talked about her family did road trips all the time, and up near South Dakota somewhere is a corn palace. Like they do different kernels of corn to the outside to create mosaics. Oh. And she's like, you wouldn't think that a corn palace would be interesting, but you'd be wrong. And I'm like, well, one day, Mom, I will get to the corn palace.
Whoa, you could have fooled me. I would have never thought. Definitely.
I have 4 places that pop into my head. One, I still want to go to Dollywood.
Yes.
Oh, actually, now I have 5. The second, there's a bar in Seattle that is completely Doctor Who themed, and they have like a TARDIS. 100%.
Oh my gosh.
100%. One that's more relevant to our situation now is I feel like Jackie and I are going to have to make a trip to Oregon so that we can go to the last Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon. There is a Harry Potter themed bar that looks amazing that's in Canada that's on my list of places to eventually go. And lastly, I wouldn't mind going to the Lisa Frank abandoned building.
Yes.
That's
a good one.
I don't know how I pulled all those things so quickly, but it was like right there.
All I had was the corn palace.
I feel silly saying Disneyland now.
No, that's a great,
amazing.
Those are all great. Wow.
I know Danielle we recently had the discussion about going to Niagara Falls, and I was like, it's going to be completely underwhelming.
Yeah.
And Danielle's like, I still feel like we could go. And I was like, only if we get to do the speedboat underneath the falls. And she's like, I don't do speedboat, so at an impasse on our road trip.
I mean, I will go, but so what I learned on a trip, I went to Thailand and we were in Phuket and we were going out to the beach. And so I just thought we're just getting like a boat. I was feeling like ferry vibes, but that's not what happened. It was a ton of people on the boat, but that thing was riding on these waves. And I learned something about myself. When I'm facing death, I laugh hysterically. I can't stop. So I'm just like bumping around, laughing hysterically. All these Thai people are looking at me like,
what are you doing?
They were either looking at me or laughing. They're like, this American, this Black woman, crazy. So there is a video floating out there of me just hysterically yelling and laughing.
I gotta see this.
Yes.
I gotta see this footage.
So that's all I was saying to Jackie. It's not that I won't do it. If we get some braids in this hair, let's do it. But I just wanted to warn you that this is what's gonna happen.
I'm wearing a GoPro that day.
There you go.
Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you on social to see your 90s goodness and nostalgia loveliness?
My 90s goodness. Yes, definitely. You guys could follow me at Imia Fleur at TikTok.
And as always, if you guys want to send us any questions, or if you have a roadside location you think we should go check out, hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, or YouTube at No More Late Fees. And stay tuned for our A Goofy Movie episode later this week with Imia.
Yeah.
And as always, be kind and rewind.